Whiteboard Wednesday, and this one is actually inspired by DeJuan Brown in a post that he made earlier today around busyness. And what comes to mind for me when people talk about busyness and procrastination and some of the other things that are out there, it's decision making. How do we actually decide what to do? Well, some of us have checklists. So we have all of our things and we have little boxes and do all of these things. And you've seen me do these before, a checklist of things that I need to get done. Well, one question is, how do we figure out what actually belongs on the checklist? And there are a couple of ways that we can do this. So a number of you've seen Covey's work. Covey's work specifically around the Eisenhower Matrix. Now, he reshared Eisenhower's matrix around things that he was either going to do, things that he was going to make a decision on, things he was going to delegate, or things he was going to stop. And the first axis that Eisenhower used is, I think, its importance. So is this not important, or is it important? Not important. So on one axis, we've got important, not important. And when we make a decision, a lot of times if we look at things through one dimension, we can make some pretty quick decisions. Now, whether or not those are the right decisions is where things get crazy, because we can justify a bunch of things. Well, then the next thing that we look at is urgency. So we get into a 2x2. And are we talking about things that are not urgent or things that are urgent? And I already screwed up my 2x2. I should have had not important on this side and important on this side. So 2x2 works either way that you do it, but ultimately what we're doing is we're trying to categorize work into specific portions of this 2x2 so that we can do a better job at making decisions and avoiding blind spots with a second dimension. All right. If you want to read about the Eisenhower Matrix, you can read about it in Covey's book, 7 Habits. You can check out one of the posts that I did around simplifying execution inside the Simplifying Execution newsletter. There are a number of different ways to get into the Eisenhower Matrix stuff. Okay, how can I use 2x2s to do some other things? So that's more of a time management, urgent versus not urgent, important versus not important. Another one that I like to use is one around energy. Is this something that gives me low energy, sucks the life out of me, versus something that gives me high energy? So is that task that's on the to-do list a low energy thing or a high energy thing? The other question I want to ask is it something that is going to have a low impact on my broader objectives or high impact on my broader objectives? If I look at it through both of those dimensions, I can choose whether or not I want to get rid of one of those things that's on my to-do list or prioritize where should I put more time, energy, and attention. So it's another way that we could use 2x2. I'm going to throw out one more 2x2. And this one is one where, again, you may have to rewind and look at this a couple of different times. We can see these models in some of the other posts that I put out there. But another 2x2 that you can use for decision-making is one around level of effort. So is the problem unknown problem, versus known problem? Do we really understand? Are we problem aware or not aware? Is the solution known solution or unknown solution? This one can start to apply with how do you put resources together when you're thinking about sales and marketing and engaging with customers. But you can also look at it inside your organization and say, are we really aware? Do we actually have a clear definition around the problem? Yes or no? If we understand it, yes or no, ones and zeros, then cool, we're over here. Do we know how people have solved for that thing before? Yes or no? If we do, if we know how people have solved for it and we have a clear definition of the problem, then maybe this is one of those things where the level of effort is not going to be super high for us to go through the process of fixing it. We just may have to prioritize resources. I've got one more 2x2 for you. So this one's known problem versus unknown problem, known solution versus unknown solution. And again, if I'm moving too fast, hit rewind. You can go back and listen to this. This is a lot of information, but it can really accelerate decision-making inside teams. And what you can start to figure out is how well are you aligned on awareness around things like known problem versus unknown problem, urgence versus importance, energy versus impact. This one comes from DeJuan. It's a process outcome matrix, or at least that's who first introduced it to me. on one end is it needed to win. Yes or no? So needed to win. No? Yes. Do we actually need this to win? Do we need a website to win? Do we need collateral to win? Do we need a product to win? Do we need all of these things? Yes or no? Is it actually needed to win, this thing that we're working on? No, yes. Can it be improved? Yes or no? Improved? Yes. Improved? No. Stop focusing time, energy, and attention on things that are not needed to win and can't be improved. Stop focusing time, energy, and attention on things that are needed to win but can't be improved. If you need it to win and it can't be improved with your existing team, you need to start hiring people who can do that work. The example I like to share when I'm talking with folks about this is I will never be a 7-foot forward in the NBA. Not because of athletic ability, although that's a challenge in there, but size. I'm just not built to be a 7-foot forward. My height can't be improved. So again, another set of 2x2s to look at this and say, how am I going through the process of making a decision? So the simplification of the decision-making process here is more about how do I avoid mistakes, avoid blind spots, not get caught up in a trap and do a lot of things that just don't matter because I went along one path, which is, yes, it was needed to win, so we just start doing it, but didn't realize, hey, you know what? This is actually one of those things we can't improve at this point in time. If you want to talk about these models directly with me, you know how to get a hold of me. Send me a direct message. You can give me a call. My number's out there. If you want to learn more about putting these models into practice, check out Whiteboard Wednesday, where I talk about this stuff. And the third place that you can go is go to Simplifying Execution, which is the newsletter that we've got on LinkedIn. For anything that you want to do with me and the business, go to findmycatalyst.com. Thanks for sharing this, and thanks for engaging.